Multimedia technology is a response to the challenge of taking real life, which happens continuously, and reproducing that in a computer with a series of ones and zeros. And we're going to talk about multimedia technology, and what we'll cover are the basic fundamentals of multimedia technology, how it works, and some multimedia standards. So let's define multimedia first. Multimedia is a type of computer representation that combines text, graphics, animation, photos, sound, and/or full motion video. The goal is to create or reproduce lifelike representations for audio, video, and for animation. The challenge is that bits are not continuous like real life. So the challenge is to reproduce something that is continuously changing, analog, life is analog, on a PC, which is incapable of making continuous changes because it is digital. PCs only know off and on, and there are no graduations in between off and on. We can do offs and ons faster, but there's still a definite off and a definite on, and therefore we will have a certain number of offs and ons. In life, everything happens analog, or everything happens continuously. So in order to fool the human mind into thinking that things are happening continuously on the computer, we use a technology called sampling. And sampling is the key to bridging the world of digital computers and the infinite number of variations of sights and sounds. So what we do is we reduce the infinite number of variations to a finite few, and then we record as many as needed to reproduce an approximation of the original sight or sound. But we have to do that without overloading the computer that holds the data. For example, this curve is continuous. We can't possibly reproduce this entire curve in the computer. So what we can do is reproduce the curve at certain levels of the curve. And if we do enough of these levels and put them together fast enough, then the human being will not be able to tell that there are pieces missing. The more samples, the better. And we'll talk more about the process of sampling in our next section. But we have to have the right tools for the job. There are three major purposes of desktop computer systems. There are low-end systems, which are designed as e-machines and thin clients. There are mid-range systems, which will be the focus of this chapter, designed for desktop publishing and home computing. And then high-end systems, which are designed for computer-intensive engineering applications or for servers. So we're going to focus on the mid-range systems. The mid-range systems are designed with the CPU. The CPU in the mid-range systems is designed with multimedia in mind. There's a powerful graphics accelerator card, usually. They can usually interface with multiple devices like camcorders, digital cameras, and scanners. And they can use applications like web authoring software and desktop publishing. Now, there are minimum requirements in order to use multimedia on a PC. And these vary with the PC, but there are some standards. And we'll talk about those standards in our next section.